Pokemon is a fun series, ain't it?
That was truly cringeworthy.
But it's had its fair share of controversy, so I figure for a change of pace, to instead complain about how Game Freak is messed up with the games, let's talk about other things that Pokemon has screwed up in the 2+ decades it's been on this earth. I'm MangaKamen, and I still like Pokemon? Right? Right? So, what better way to start this video than talking about racial issues? Yay! The comments are gonna be so fun. So, if you don't know Lenora, she was the second gym leader in the original Pokemon Black and White games, using the normal type Pokemon for that generation. And while it's awesome to have a cool, older black woman in a prominent position like a gym leader, there was kind of a big problem. There were issues of stereotypes being used for the character, more specifically the mammy housekeeper stereotype, which was made even worse by the fact that the gym leader title in the original Japanese was Natural Born Mama. Character designer Yusuke Omura stated in an interview, and I quote,
"There was talk during Black and White's development about wanting to focus on the inclusion of a multinational and multiracial vibe. So, with that in mind, we came up with this black woman, and we'd received orders that she should have a strong sort of body type and some motherly quality."
And in the anime version in the West, Lenora was edited to not have her apron on, electing to have her regular clothes for it. Still, in the international release for Gen 5, Lenora still has her apron on. Oops. So while Game Freak's heart was in the right place, they kinda dropped the ball. So, do you guys know about Tencent? If you don't, then here's a brief summary. Tencent is very much known for its tendency to rip off popular games, and still somehow maintains an extremely large player base and is now one of the biggest companies in China. Their games also tend to have enormous price increases compared to the original, as in paying thousands of dollars worth of RMB for a piece of equipment or a new character, and blatantly follow a pay-to-win model so that its playing players have an insurmountable advantage over the majority of players. So the Pokemon Company thought it'd be a great idea to work with them in something that a lot of people have called reskinned League of Legends, as well as have the guillotine of microtransactions hanging overhead. It's no wonder this video got hit with a ton of dislikes when it was announced, and Game Freak took it down and put it up, took it down and put it up, multiple times in order to get those dislikes gone. So, yikes! You know, when you're a little kid, you tend to be an idiot. Why do I say this? Well, back in the year of 1999! Burger King had a promotional tie-in with Pokemon back in the late 90s. The first Pokemon movie had come out around that time, and there was a huge Pokemon craze. Each time you got yourself a Burger King kids meal, you got yourself a small plastic ball that would have a small Pokemon figurine in it. Burger King had said that the toy was made safe and that they had tested for safety reasons. But unfortunately, there are some things you can't really test for, and there was a suffocation of a young kid. Don't get me wrong, Burger King and the Pokemon Company should have done more testing, but in my humble opinion, I think there should be some responsibility of the parents. I mean, you have to keep an eye on a kid who's barely 1 year old, especially with that. Still, there was a massive recall, about 25 million Pokeballs. Oh, come on, you knew we had to bring this up. It was during the early years of Pokemon's popularity that there would be claims of, well,
they say the Pokemon whole effort is to train children how to become the #1 Pokemon master in the world. You follow it through the New Age teaching, you find out that masters are those who take control of spirits in the dark realm.
You know, I don't remember that being part of the games or anime.
The child at some point becomes capable of taking these powers and channeling them through their mind, through their arms, or through their power sources.
Ah, yeah, you remember the time that Ash was able to use Charizard's flamethrower through his arms?
The hell was that?
This is just something that our culture likes to recycle. Same ideas, different packaging. In addition, some of the other claims were that Pokemon was promoting scientific theory of evolution. Oh boy, fundamentalist creationists. Now, I respect what people choose to believe, but sometimes this sort of borders on extremely out there shit.
How to fantasy role play. Pokemon World is a world of the demonic. of the satanic.
Oh, come on! How can anyone say that Sandshrew is satanic? The little guy's cute!
But while you might not take it quite seriously, I assure you that demons take it quite seriously. Satan takes it quite seriously. Your children need to know there's a devil, and he hates them, and he wants to ruin their life.
Of course! Jigglypuff was the devil! It all makes sense now.
Why? What you do with your brain has a direct correlation to where you're going to spend eternity.
Side note, I love whoever edited that footage to have those screen jumps. It's just kind of fun. There was even some really fun claims, such as if you reverse the original Pokemon theme song, you'd hear the phrase, "I love you, Satan." Yeah, you'd probably hear that after taking one too many jumps off the top of stairs, I guess. So, let's talk about Peta. If you don't know about them, they're an organization that claims to want to help animals, but is filled with some of the dumbest, loudest, and unsurprisingly toxic people you could have met. And you could seriously make an hour-long video talking about what the hell they did in their prime, but they range from stuff like claiming cow's milk gives people autism, or claiming that if you ate meat, you were well, you get the idea. So, what do they gotta do with Pokemon? Well, Peta has actually had a bit of a history with Pokemon and video games in general, even going so far to make some terrible parody games. Probably the most notable is Pokemon Black and Blue, and it was made out that the entire series was about animal abuse, which anyone who's ever seen an episode of Pokemon knows is full of shit. Hell, right off the top of my head, I remember the episode where Ash finds a Charmander that's left out by its trainer. Not only do the main characters find the abandoned Charmander and save it, but the trainer who left it on its own in an abusive manner was heavily criticized and was clearly marked as the bad guy, and thus was lit on fire.
Bro, how did you figure that out?
It's all right here in this Wikipedia article.
Pokemon's always had a theme of environmentalism and caring for your little pocket monsters, so this came off as inane to portray it as animal abuse. It was a form of indoctrination to appeal to the younger demographic since they have Pokemon-related humor and memes in the games. And there was a second game too, Pokemon Red, White, and Blue, which apparently took Nintendo to task for including Pokemon toys with McDonald's Happy Meals? Huh? For an additional twist of irony, Pokemon actually beat Peta to the punch with the official games. Gen 5 has a theme of questioning if Pokemon are actually happy being captured by trainers and the antagonists are Team Plasma, who are Pokemon rights supporters, but comes out that their leaders are hypocrites who take advantage of those who are just trying to do right. How's that for irony?
Now that is irony.
So, you know that whole deal of psychics bending spoons? It's kind of a fun little trick, and what better way to base a Pokemon off that concept than to represent the psychic type in the game? So, meet Kadabra. Or if you're someone who's looking to be a dickabout for about 17 years, meet Uri Geller. Uri Geller was a television psychic and magician, and apparently he was a big name, having performed on such shows like The Tonight Show. You know, that thing that was on that relic called television? But Pokemon fans will probably be more familiar with the fact that he sued Nintendo for apparently, and I quote, "Nintendo turned me into an evil occult Pokemon character. Nintendo stole my identity by using my name and signature image." Geller claimed that Kadabra, known as Junginger in Japan, was an unauthorized parody of him, even bringing up claims that Kadabra was anti-Semitic and designed because of the star on its forehead? Huh? So, for about 20 years, there was another Kadabra card printed in the trading card game. Not since Skyridge 2003 and hasn't appeared in the anime at all since. It wasn't until November of last year that Geller decided to rescind the ban on Kadabra, with fan outcry being the reason why. And personally, I think it's kind of dumb to sue over that, since not only were Abra and Alakazam pre- and post-evolutions of Kadabra named after prominent musicians and psychics, but parody does exist for a reason, and in all honesty, considering that it's foreign companies and international dealings, having a lawsuit for something like that wouldn't be worth anything but a headache. And it kind of proves that with all this shit right here, because Geller is only seen as a criminal in this regard to the fans.
Oh, there's a big surprise.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Pokemon Go! Look, you can probably make an entire video talking about the controversies of Pokemon Go and how people were basically making a whole big deal out of it. Like how the first Pokemon Go in 2017 was...
This is a battle for valor, Jim.
Yeah, a mess. To the people actually getting killed because they weren't paying attention, and to the people who found dead bodies. The game has had its fair share of controversy, and that's been well documented, but I felt like bringing it up just right here because it's just fun. So there's a lot more controversies I could have covered, like the supposed imagery in the games that are questionable at best. Still, despite the controversies that have plagued Pokemon, the series is still going strong and doesn't have any signs of slowing down.
What about Dexit?
Anyway, I hope you guys
What about Dexit?
enjoyed the video, and
What about...
be sure to have a great day, and remember to examine your fandom. Thanks for watching.